Okay, guys. Well, this is our last GoPro training, and it's going to be one of my favorite. And today we're going to talk about going pro with people skills. And I have to say that Joanne and myself, I think, have really mastered people skills. Why, you say? I think our mothers did a great job of transferring that skill to us, and I'm not saying it to brag, but it is one of my strengths, and it is one of her strengths, and I believe that it is a skill that has to be mastered to become a top director and a national sales director with this company. And I just want to let you know that people are the best and worst part of our business, aren't they? They can be the best and the worst part of our business, and we have to learn to love people. We have to learn how to fall in love with people and to embrace them, to embrace the good, the bad, the ugly. And you might love people and be an extrovert, or you might be like me, where I'm an extrovert and love people, but I actually gain my energy from being alone. So being with people and then getting alone and just filling my cup. And so, but I know that you need people to work this business. You need people, and you have to be nice to people. And so I'm going to talk to you about taking your people skills to a new level, understanding people more, seeing them as God does, and just learning how people work and sharing some of my expertise from my 16 years of experience in this business. Now, I loved the quote that Mary Kay, she was as tough as a businesswoman, but she was soft as velvet with her approach. She was a tough businesswoman, but she was soft as velvet with her approach. And that's how we need to be. If we want customers to continue purchasing from us, if we want consultants and directors to be happy in our organization, we have to be nice, and we have to love people, and we have to bring out the best in them. And so I'm going to share with you 20 tips that I believe, from my expertise in the 16 years of business, that have really, really made an impact. And these are things that you know, but I'm just going to remind you of them, okay? So the first thing is we cannot build this business without people, right? We need them. You can't have them walk all over you. You have to have boundaries. However, you have to be nice to them. You need them to build your organization. If you struggle with this is something that you need to pray on. And, if you're a believer, you know that Jesus loved people. He loved people. He loved people whether they were good or bad. He served them even when they were ugly to him. And so I think, when you're a believer, you also want to love people because you're exemplifying Christ. And so I always say that Mary Kay is my makeup missionary work, because whether I meet somebody for 5 minutes, or I'm with them for an hour in a consultation, or I do life with them in business, my main goal is that they see Jesus through me, that they're like, there's something different about you. Like, why are you positive? Why are you nice? Why are you asking me questions? Why do you forgive me so quickly? I want them to see that in me, and I hope you do too. And so I want you to learn to love people, and I want you to learn to get along with people. So know that we cannot build this business without people. The second thing I know is that we have to see the one good in every single person. There is always one good thing in every single person. So you might be the type of person that walks into a room and sees the glass full and overflowing, or it's empty, or you're seeing the negative that's happening. And so I want you, with every person you come in contact with, whether it be a customer, a friend, anybody from school, from church, your organization, that you see the best in them. Don't see the negative. Don't see the flaws. Be nice. Smile. Give them compliments. Find the one thing that they have, the one quality that they have. Maybe they're nice. Maybe they have a pretty smile. Maybe they have nice teeth. Maybe they have pretty skin, or they have cute children, or they're on time, or they're a good person, or maybe they're brilliant. Maybe they bring a lot of brilliance to the table, or they always have a clean house, or they look so great when you see them, or they know product knowledge, or they're good with money. Find one thing that you can focus on and bring out the best in that person. Everybody wants to be around someone that brings out the best in them, not the worst in them. Think about someone that has always made you feel great. You know, don't you always want to be in their space when they're like, how are you doing? How's your day? How's life going? How are you feeling? You know, it's not just all about them. They're focusing on you, and they care, and they're nice. I know that I can name some of those people. I know that my mom is an example of that type of person. You know, every person she comes in contact with, she's so positive and nice, and she tends to bring out the best in you. She doesn't talk bad about people. She's always saying positive things, and she can turn a negative into a positive. And that is the one person that comes off the top of my head that I learned mastery of people skills. Not that she's perfect, not that any of us are perfect, we're not, but we're striving to be the best we can, right? Okay, the fourth thing I know is that you have to be a good listener. You have to be a good listener. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. People love to be heard. Look at what people pay for psychologists and therapists. You know, they pay anywhere from $90 to $200 an hour just to be heard. Look at what happens when you ask a question on Facebook. You get 20 to 100 responses because people love to be heard. People love to give their opinions. You know, there's so many different questions you can ask. Maybe you don't know the questions to ask. I'm going to give you some questions you could ask so that people could feel heard and loved. And you can find out so much about people when you ask them questions, can't you? So a question you might want to ask, and also the questions that you ask will help the flow of your marketing. It will help the flow of your marketing on how you're going to deliver the presentation, or where you're going to go. So you have to ask questions. So a question you could ask is, tell me what you're passionate about. Tell me what you're passionate about. That's a great question. Or what is your occupation? What is your occupation? Do you enjoy what you do? Do you enjoy your work? Where do your kids attend school? Where do they go to school? How old are your kids? What are they interested in? Are you married? Are you married? Do you enjoy your job? Do you enjoy, what do you gain from your job? What do you like to do when you have free time? What do you like to do? Where do you get your hair done? Where do you get your hair done? Or if time or money wasn't an issue, if time or money wasn't an option, what would you be doing? If time or money wasn't an option, what would you be doing? So those are just a few questions you could write down or put in your note section of your phone that you could start meditating on or know. Because if you're not somebody that really asks questions or you know what to say, you can just ask those things, and that's just common sense, because people love to be heard, and they're going to want to be around you more, and they're going to do business with you when you do that. Number 5, be a chameleon. Everybody always says, Dacia, when you are in front of somebody, you literally become like your environment. It is so true. It's really funny. I don't know Spanish. However, when I'm with Hispanics, I end up using my hands a lot, or even speaking a little bit like them. Working in Colombia has really opened my eyes to that. I was telling Ari, I'm so nervous to go. I don't know the language. And you know what? They really embraced me because they could feel my heart. They knew that I cared. Even though I couldn't speak their language, I was interested. I looked in their eyes. I smiled. I couldn't wait to hear what they said with anticipation. I used my hands. If they served me coffee, I would accept it. I wanted to try their tostones. I wanted to try the food from their culture. And so being from Miami, it's really helped me embrace cultures and people from different ethnicities. So when I go to someone's house and they're from a different culture, I like to try their food. That makes them happy. Do you know that makes people happy, that you try their food? Now, I'm not saying that you do whatever someone tells you. If someone says you need to drink, these shots at a skincare party, obviously you shouldn't drink them. But I'm saying that, if someone says jump off a bridge, you don't jump off a bridge. I'm not saying to become exactly like your environment, but make other people feel comfortable. And don't be snooty about, oh, well, I don't eat that. Or, just, you can tell with your eyes if you're not feeling comfortable. And even if you're not feeling comfortable, act like you are comfortable, because people like to be around people that are accepting of their culture or accepting of their beliefs. And you might differ with beliefs, and that's okay, but just hear them out. But I become like the culture that I'm around. And like I said, you don't change who you are, but you learn to adapt to your environment. If your customer is talking quick and fast and to the point, then your presentation needs to be quick and fast and to the point. If your customer is embracing you and enjoying your conversation, then you need to be enjoying the conversation. You don't need to be looking at your phone. You need to be intentionally in that conversation and be warm with her. If she hugs you, you hug her back. If your client, if she fixes you a certain coffee, have it. Now, if you don't like coffee, obviously don't drink it. But if it's something different out of the usual that you haven't tried, why not try it? Because that's how you learn to embrace different cultures, and it makes people happy when you embrace who they are. So I feel like one of my gifts is that I embrace different cultures, and my main goal is to have a diverse group of women in my organization. I had a director's meeting today, and if you walk in, you're going to see Hispanic, African American, women from the South, from the North, from Europe. You're going to see them from all different cultures, and I want to embrace that, because when I have someone come into my meeting, I want them to feel good. I want them to feel welcome, and so you want to embrace that. Number 6, find their hot button. Find their hut button. And the best way to do this is to understand the DISC, okay? And by asking questions and how they respond, and by watching their body language, you will know which one they are. So if they're a D, when you come in, she's gonna hug you really short and she's gonna pat you on the back, and you're gonna know she's more of a D. Doesn't mean she doesn't have the other personality styles intermingled. It just means that that's her primary language or strength, okay? So she's normally short, to the point, very thorough. You want to ask her about what she does, what position she holds, what she's accomplished. When you're marketing a woman like this, you got to focus on the money, the 50%, moving up the career path, the position, talking about the NSD suit. Not too much detail, but really focusing on, these are the women at the top, and look at what our top producers make, and look at what my national makes, and look at what my director, they want to know, bottom line, tell me what I make, tell me how I get started, how do I make money? Like, that's it, like, get to the point. Okay. If you're with an I personality, you're going to feel like you've known her for years. She's going to embrace you. She's going to feel like she's your best friend. There's going to be longer conversations. You're going to be there for a while. And so just embrace that. And so, you're going to want to talk about, where you've traveled, or the girlfriends that you've made, or the prizes that you've earned, or if you've earned a ring in Mary Kay, let her try it on. Just talk to her about the trips she can earn. So that makes a big difference, that when you're personable, when you connect with an I and use your hands and you're hugging her and you're like, girlfriend, let's work together, let's be friends, so be ready for that. If you're with an S, okay, she's gonna talk slower. She's gonna be calmer. When you ask questions about her, she's probably gonna talk about her family. She's gonna wanna hear about family goals, what you've accomplished with your family while being in Mary Kay, making a difference, all our foundations that we help support, the Mary Kay Ash Breast Cancer Charitable Foundation, or helping women that have had domestic violence. And so, when you're marketing an S, it needs to be slow and calm. And, she really needs to be heard, and ask questions about her family. Talk about how this can incorporate and allow her to save for her family's goals. Maybe it's taking them to Disney for the first time, or paying off her family's debt, or having more time to go, with Susie Q to extracurricular activities, whatever it is. So teaching her that she can have a business with balance and be there for what's important for her. Sometimes it's going to take a second or a third interview, or you might meet with her today and you might have to have a cup of coffee tomorrow, but that's okay, because it's about her hot button. It's about her feeling important, okay? The C personality, that it will start on time. She'll probably be the best hostess she ever had. Everything will be perfect. My best hostesses are C's. That's the bottom line. My best hostesses are C's. And so, with your marketing, you need to have every marketing flyer possible. You need to share more details, talk about the tax deductions, have the agreement in front of you, be thorough, be looking at your time so you can be time conscious. So the thing is that everybody's unpredictable. However, but the more you study people, you'll know who you're in front of, and you'll get better. And the more faces you do, and the more parties you do, and the more interviews you do, you're going to know who you're in front of, and you're going to know how to present the marketing. You're going to know how to overcome objections. You're going to know how to make her feel comfortable. Okay, you guys, so really, really, really dissect and know the DISC so you can find out their hot button and communicate in their hot button. Number 7, be nice. Such a simple concept, but be nice. It doesn't matter if you've had a good day or a bad day. Be nice. But seriously, be nice. When things go your way or not, be nice. No one wants to hang around a grumpy person. There's a book called The Power of Nice. The Power of Nice, and I loved what it said here. It said, time and time again, we have seen the extraordinary power of nice in our business dealings and in our personal lives. It is the patient passenger who politely asks the airline ticket agent to please check one more time who gets the first class upgrade, rather than the, I'm a triple platinum member diehard and you better find me a spot. It is the driver who is polite and apologetic to the police officer, who sometimes is forgiven for driving over the speed limit. But seriously, and you guys, I have a story with that. I was pulled over a few months ago because I was turning left where I wasn't supposed to turn left. And I was like, I'm just going to be so nice to this guy. And I pulled over and I'm like, sir, I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, can you please forgive me? Now I know what I did wrong. Oh my gosh, I was talking and I was hearing a girl out and I'm just so sorry. And I said, I hope you're going to be an angel today. And do you know, he was like, man, I'm just going to give you a warning. Like, I was just so nice to him. Kill people with kindness and you'll get so much more from it. You want your husband to clean the dishes or be kind to you, be nice to him. You want your kids to be nice to you, be nice to them. You want to have nice customers, give them nice customer service, So nice doesn't mean smiling blatantly while others walk all over you. Nice does not mean being a doormat. In fact, we would argue that nice is the toughest 4-letter word that you'll ever bear. It means moving forward with the clear-eyed confidence that comes from knowing that being very nice and placing other people's needs on the same level as your own will get you everything you want, okay? Nice is luckier in love. People who are low-key and congenial, they have less of a divorce rate, they said. Nice makes more money. One study found that every 2% increase in the service climate that is general, cheerful, and helpful makes more revenue, okay? Nice is healthier. A University of Michigan study found that older Americans who provide support to others, either through volunteer work or simply by being a good friend or neighbor, had a 60% lower rate of premature death, unlike their unhelpful peers. Nice spends less time in court. One study found that doctors who had never been sued spoke to their patients for an average of 3 minutes longer than physicians who had been sued twice as much. Crazy. It's the small kindness, the smiles, the gestures, the compliments, the favors that makes our day and even can change our lives. Be nice. Be nice. Number 7. Number 8, when you don't agree, just a little suggestion. Don't talk about religion, politics, and child-rearing views. I mean, if someone asks you and says, I really want to know your beliefs, it's not going to bother me, tell them if you want to. But you guys don't get in a fight over something like that. It's not going to end well. Respect other people's opinions. You can agree to disagree. Do not be opinionated on social media or Instagram. You are in the sales industry. It kills me when, every 4 years when the president comes around and, it's okay to maybe post one thing like, oh, I voted today or whatever. But honestly, I would not post my political views. You're running an organization and you want to be accepting of all people. And some people can get turned off with a negative comment. And maybe you didn't mean it that way, but maybe it came across that way and it offended them. And I just would say, keep neutral. Keep neutral and, just keep neutral with that, which leads me to the next thing, which is number 9, which is keep neutral. Like literally always see 2 sides to every story. There's his side and her side and the truth. And I always say, I have tons of friends just all over the place. But some I'll have, I'll be friends with this one, and then this one will talk, and maybe this one will talk about this one, or this one will talk about this one. What I try to do is always stay positive and neutral and say, well, so-and-so might have meant this, or so-and-so might have meant that. I try to see the best in them. So stay neutral. Don't side one way or the other, because there's always two sides to every story. No gossiping allowed. If you're like, well, people come to me, then you know what? You stop listening and you walk away, they'll stop coming to you. Okay? There's a reason why they're gossiping with you, because you either gossip back with them or you're feeding them, right? Okay, number 10, always speak positive of others. Okay, it'll come back to bite you. Even if you don't agree with someone or someone's been really mean to you, be nice to them. Be nice to them. Always speak positive about other people. It'll always come back to you. Number 10, confrontation. Okay, I personally cannot stand confrontation. Like, I hate it with a passion. It really is something I had to work on and pray about. But you guys, if a consultant responds not the way you want, or a customer is rude to you, or maybe you have a disagreement with a family member, or just anybody, a friend, family member, client, director, consultant, the best thing I've learned, because if not, you're going to explode and kill the relationship. If something happens, don't react right away. Come home, get in your car, get quiet, pray about it. Don't explode right away. Write down your thoughts. And if it's someone that actually is like, well, I need to talk to you, or you could even say, I just need a day. I need a day. Let's chat tomorrow, or let's meet for coffee tomorrow. Do not fight back. Breathe, pray, get quiet, write out your feelings, because many times you look back a day later and feel remorse that maybe you acted too much, too harshly. And in the moment, maybe it's that time of the month where you had an argument with your husband or a family member or a team member, or your month was not going the way it was, and you respond harshly and you respond in the wrong way, which someone could maybe not be as forgiving as you and hold that grudge forever. Or, you just don't know. And so you take the higher road and you get quiet, you pray about the situation, you pray for that person, whether they've done good or bad to you, you write out your thoughts and you pray, and you come back in a calm manner, and don't you dare text, and don't you dare email. You always get face-to-face, or if you can't do face-to-face, over the phone or meet up in person, because you guys, everything can get lost in translation through a text or an email, and people can't feel your emotions or your heart. And I've seen so many relationships hurt over, and if you have a problem, you go to the person. You don't talk to different people. You go to the person directly and you confront it. And that's what the Bible tells us to do, to, confront the person that doesn't like you or has an issue with you. And, if you do it and they still don't want anything to do with you, it is what it is. There's something you can do. At least you did the right thing and you confronted them and you asked, like, how have I hurt you? Like, I want to work this out. Even if you were slammed, even if it wasn't your fault, you take the higher road, because you know what? The only person that hurts is you. The only person that hurts is you when you hold a grudge. That's what happens. So confrontation, learn to not text and not email, confront the person, give some time to cool off, okay? Number 11, don't say everything you feel. Don't say everything you feel. So many times, it goes, it comes in our head and it just goes out. And you guys, you got to think before you speak. You really, really do. And that's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. We have to be cautious, because our mouth can be deadly. It really, really can. And we have to think about what we want to say. How would you want to be spoken to? Is it uplifting? Is it positive? Is it going to build somebody up, or is it going to tear them down? Number 13, don't ever make a customer, consultant, or offspring ever feel like you're disappointed in them. Don't ever let them feel like you're disappointed in them. Ever. Don't ever let them know. Maybe they said, well, I'm going to go and Target for my car this month, and I'm going to do 50 faces and get 5 recruits. And maybe they barely did 5. And maybe they didn't have a team member, and you feel let down because you coached them a lot and you were working with them. You know what? Don't make them feel bad. You know what? Remind them of their strengths. Go back to their why. Sing their song back to them. What's their song? Their why, their passion, their purpose. sing it back to them, remind them how great they are. That is the one thing I want my area to know, and I hope they know, and I know you would say this about me, that I love you no matter where you are, whether you are producing, whether you're not, wherever you are in life, I love you, and I want you to know that, and I want you to be the same with your people. You guys, number 14, keep your word. Your word is your bond, your integrity, your trust. It's everything. If you say you're going to do something, not unless it's something that is just really bad, like there's a death in the family, or you have the flu, or someone in your family's in the hospital, or there's something that went massive wrong in your marriage, or something that is like a make or break issue, you keep your word. If you said you're going to travel, if you said you're going to go somewhere, if you said you're going to do something, do it. And you know what? If for some reason you forgot or something happened, be honest and tell that person and apologize. Be the first to apologize. Be quick to apologize and make it right. But do your best to work in integrity, to keep your bond, to keep your word, and to build that trust. Number 15, hold consultants accountable. People want to be held accountable, you guys. Whether you have 1 team members or 200, they want to be held accountable. And I know this can be an area that I can be weak in sometimes, is just following up. You know, as women, we wear so many hats, just that follow up. But women want to be held accountable and they want to be heard. And so what I try to do, and I'm not perfect, is when I'm coaching someone or if I'm listening to someone on the phone, I try to lock myself in the car so I can hear them, so I'm not distracted. And I write down the things that they say so that I can really know that the next time we talk, we can pick up where we last spoke, but also so that I can be paying attention. Because if I'm writing, I'm paying attention. So many times as women, we want to be cooking dinner, walking around, shopping at Target, and also on the phone with a team member. And then they're not feeling heard, and they're feeling like they're not as important. So hold them accountable, listen, and stop and write what they're doing. Number 19, you guys, send thank you notes. Send thank you notes, the written word. Mary Kay used to say, write two notes a day. 2 notes a day, whether it's to a customer, whether it's to a consultant or a director or a friend or family member. I want to challenge you to write 2 positive notes today. You know what? The written word has kind of been lost, but we need to get back. We need to get back to that, because how many of you get a beautiful handwritten note and you're like, oh my goodness, like that just made my day. I have a box with all my positive handwritten notes because my love language is words. And so when I hear words, it fills my spirit, it fills my cup. And a lot of women are like that. You guys, be grateful. Keep a gratitude journal. You know, in the morning when you do your miracle morning, write out what you're thankful for. Maybe it's, you know, that there's sunshine today, or that you have a husband, or that you have kids, or that you have your health, or that you have food, or that you have a roof over your head, or you have this business, or that you have 100 customers, or that you have hands, that you have eyes, whatever it is. Be grateful. Be grateful. When we focus on gratitude, we don't see all the negative that's happening around. So keep that gratitude journal. And you guys, last but not least, number 20, you guys, write down the characteristics of the qualities that you want in a team member. Take that time right now. Write down the qualities that you want in a team member. For me, it would be hard worker, integrity, wise, smart, good attitude, positive. You know, write all the qualities that you want in a team member. And I want you to pray over that, because when you're focusing on the qualities you want and you're praying it and you're circling it in prayer, when you come to parties and appointments, you're going to know it when it's in front of you. You're going to know that there's that team member that's like, oh my gosh, she's the one I've been praying for. And it doesn't mean we don't share with everyone, because we do, but we're going to know that, wait, she's the missing piece to my puzzle. She's the one that God has brought to me. And I love that when I pray for that. You know, I pray for that in directors. And it's funny, I'll even pray specifically for, you know, more Aries or more Christine Dentons or more Tanyas or more Dacias or whatever it is. I always pray for specifically for the type of person that I want. And when God brings it to me, I'm like, oh, that's what I've been praying for. And so when you're circling it and you're believing it and you're believing that it's coming to you, you're able to receive it, you guys. You're able to receive it. So, and you guys, be aware of your surroundings wherever you go. This goes back to the first point of our whole business, which is generating leads. Be aware. You know, today I went to a business networking event, and so I had to be aware of who was around me, or maybe the men that I was in front of the thinking about who are the women married to, you know, or when I'm on an airplane, or when I'm in an airport, or when I'm at my kid's school, or when I'm at an event, I'm constantly thinking, you know, let me be nice to these people, let me meet them, let me get their information, and somehow it either turns out being a friend or someone that we do business with, or they become a customer, they become a team member, or like I just was there to brighten their day. But look for opportunity everywhere, you guys. Because it's out there. It's out there. And like I said, people are the best and worst part of this business. They are. And we've got to learn to embrace them and love them. We're going to, in closing, talk about how Mary Kay was and how she said to be good with people. And so these are things you know. Mary Kay said to live by the golden rule, right? Which is to treat other people as you would like to be treated. And so, like, we've got to remember that, you know, living by the golden rule. Number 2, she said, define your priorities. Make sure it's God, family, career. You know, do you have things disorganized right now? Is it just Mary Kay, Mary Kay, Mary Kay, and then the family? No, you want to put your time with God first, your time in small group or at church first. That needs to be on the weekly plan sheet first. And then your date night with your husband, because you know that that's more important than being with your children, actually. Do you know that loving and being with your spouse is a ministry to your children? So do you have that date night or that quiet time? And you don't have to go out and spend money. You can literally have him come home from work, get a glass of wine or water, and sit out on the porch and talk about your day for 15 minutes. That's good too. You know, time with your kids, spending that special time with them. And then your work. Number 3, trust your instincts, you know. Trust your instincts. You know, if something doesn't feel right, go with that. As women, we have such gut instincts and feelings about things. She said, number 4, continue to learn and improve. And that's why you're on this, because you are continuing to learn and improve and master your skills and get better with time. Number 5, she said, practice disciplined time management. You know, are you managing your time? We all have the same amount of hours, minutes in a week, but how are you using it? You know, are you wasting your day? You know, God wants you to give this day the best. Not look at yesterday, not look at tomorrow, but it's this day. How are you using each hour, each minute? Are you using it wisely? When you put your head on your pillow at night, are you like, wow, job well done. I couldn't have done any more. Number 6, be open to change. Oh my gosh, is our society changing every second? You know, now, you know, I'm sure some of you baby boomers are like, oh my gosh, social media, Facebook, Instagram, like, it's like coming at me so full force, but learning as you go. I know that I'm kind of caught in the middle of Gen Y and Gen X and the millenniums and all that. And so, you know, I know a little bit about technology, but I'm still learning. And so, you know, but learning that we've got to change, we've got to be different. Some of you are old school where you're like, oh no, I can only book by using the phone. And I believe that there's nothing better than a live conversation. However, many people want to be texted right now. And so just, you know, changing with the times. Number 7, make everyone feel important. Like we talked about, Mary Kay said, make everyone in front of you feel important. And like they have a sign around their neck that says, make me feel important. Number 8, be enthusiastic. If you act enthusiastic, people will become enthusiastic, right? Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. So get out of yourself, get excited, start working out, get the blood going so that you can be enthusiastic and attract people to you. Number 9, remain humble. And this is hard because the higher you climb, you know, you get that Cadillac and you're feeling good, and you get that unit bar pin, or you become an executive and you're feeling hot, or you're a national and you're feeling hot. You guys, you gotta remain humble. The most attractive quality that a leader can have is humble confidence. That humble confidence of, you know, let people compliment you. You don't have to tell people how great you are. Let people tell you how great you are, and you're like, thank you, oh my gosh, thank you. You know, be humble, stay humble, because everything could be taken away from you in a second. Be so grateful. And last but not least, she said, be generous in praising people. Praise people to success. People are motivated. They're not motivated by fear. They are motivated by praising people to success. People have enough coming down on them in the workforce and in the home. They don't need it anywhere else. And so maybe you've been too tough on people, or you've said, I don't really like people. You gotta get over it. You gotta learn to love people and be more like Mary Kay, where She was that velvet hammer. She was still tough in business, but she was soft as velvet in her approach and making other people feel important. And I know that you can do that. I know that this is a skill that will either make and break us, right? And I just want to let you know, I have just been so grateful for this time together. I've been so grateful for this time together. I hope that you have grown pro, that you have mastered in booking, selling, coaching, sharing, overcoming obstacles, people skills. I hope that you have these resources will be available forever on this Facebook group, so you can go back and listen and retrain yourself. You know, so even when you're not a part of a pace setter or group, you can go back and retrain yourself or re-listen when you're driving or late at night or you need some encouragement. But I've just been so blessed by preparing these trainings for you, by listening to your positive feedback. It has been a blessing to me. And the way that you can bless me is by sharing this amazing opportunity, by changing a face and changing a life, and continuing to focus on your perfect 10. Seeing 30 faces a month and sharing with everybody and getting the product on your face and being nice to people and just keeping the legacy of Mary Kay going, you guys. And in closing, I'm going to go over the last week of work. Next week, we are going to, so we finished today our training, but we have one more week of you guys doing your work, your dream work, and then we're going to announce next week our top 5, which earns the coaching sessions. And Kendra's, the top, number 1 gets a 1-hour coaching session, the number 2 gets a 30-minute, and the top 3 get Kendra Scott gifts, and the top 5 get this amazing I'm All In thermos. And so, but most importantly, you know, whether you just listened over the past few weeks, or maybe you're going back and listening months later, or whether you took notes and, you know, you applied it, or, you know, you really just took massive action and transpired your business, I'm just grateful that you watched, because that showed that you cared and you're wanting to improve yourself. And the best thing you can do is to work on yourself and to become better, right? So I do want to let you know, we are going to have a month-long pace setter optional in June, so I will post it on our Facebook group if you want to get involved. It's only going to be $10, and we are going to still have prizes. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be called Jam in June, Getting into the Circle. And since Joanne's working on Diamond Circle and I'm working on Inner Circle, like, we want to double the activity in June. So it's really going to be focused on June strategy, working in the middle, preparing for next year. And so be on the lookout for that and registering for that. And that might help you kind of really finish your year with a bang. And like I said, some of you are in our areas and some of you are adopted, and we just love having you a part of this. And I hope that it's made an impact and a difference in your life and in business. So we'd love to have you back on our June Pace Setter, and we'll stay connected here. I'll be watching you. I'll be watching you because I added you to Facebook, and I hope that you're watching me and I'm watching you and I'm encouraging you. And so last but not least, just to go over the homework for this week, you're going to get points for obviously having your miracle morning every day this week. You're going to get points for every $100 day that you do, for every party that you do, for every team member that you add this week. When you interview 5 people this week, you're going to get points. You're going to practice being kind and nice to people. So anytime a negative thought comes into your mind, you're going to erase the positive thought. You're going to write in your gratitude journal. You're going to write 2 positive notes a day. And I want you to study the DISC and really go back and listen to what I said and take notes and reflect on what you do really well at, and the areas and people skills that you could work on. And maybe there's a relationship that you need to mend from a past customer, family member, team member, director that you need to mend that's maybe holding you back from success. Mend that, move on, because the only person that's hurting is you. And so I love you guys. I love you, love you, love you. I thank you for being a part of this program, and I pray that you will continue to go pro, and I will see you at the top.